So I want to talk to you about the art of long suffering. Now, have you ever had somebody disrespect you or something that offended your pride, wounded your ego, and you wanted to just grab them and beat the snot out of them? See, from the time that I was a kid, I've always been stronger than anybody else. People who crossed me. And many times I have done that before. And I used to feel kind of ashamed of myself for it. But I'm always reevaluating things. See, you have permission in life to reevaluate your standpoint on situations. And if people think that they can predict what you're going to do, you got to show them that you're wrong, that they're wrong. And see, that's the mistake that a lot of people make, is they make a decision about a certain viewpoint that they have in life, but they don't ever give themselves permission to change it. And what I want to tell you is that you have permission to change your mind. Only a fool doesn't change their mind. Okay? And they may call you a fool on the street, but you don't want to really be a fool. You want to have some game in life. Because if you don't, you're always going to be at the mercy of those who do. And no matter how deep you think the game is, it's always deeper than it appears. And see, a lot of times people get mad and they show it. But see, what they do by doing that, by reacting to situations, is weaken themselves because they give their cards away. When you show somebody that you're mad about something, you are actually playing into their hands, because people like to mess with you. Believe it or not, people like to mess with other people. Have you ever heard that people say, "Don't mess with me"? Well, I think a lot of people don't understand. A lot of people think that means don't offend me. But see, a lot of people, they like to mess with you psychologically. And so when you say, "Well, I'm not gonna mess with nobody." Well, that's one approach. But another approach is to mess with them back. If somebody tries to screw with your mind, screw them back, buddy. That's what I say. Ain't nobody no better than nobody else. They want to mess around with your mind. A lot of people play little mind games with you, hot and cold, little manipulative mind games. So I would prefer that people wouldn't do that. I don't like it when people do that. I never really wanted to do that. But the fact of the matter is that people do that. So I think they get fun out of it. So mess with them back if you have time. You know, it's kind of like somebody challenges you to a fight. Well, I say take them on and beat the crap out of them with one hand tied behind your back. But that's only if you have time, because you've got more important things to do than to mess with their little games. But if somebody wants to mess with you, I will encourage you to get good at messing with them back. If somebody wants to play hot and cold games with you, you do the same thing. And if they offend your pride, offend them back. Hit them where it hurts, because that's the only way that they'll learn to respect you. But see, here's the thing that a lot of people do, is they do it too quickly. They react. And see, what's a lot better to do is it's better to make detailed documentation about what they did. And you let them ride a little bit longer. You let them coast on, think they're getting away with it. But all the time, you're looking for them to get weak. And when you see their weakness, you hit them where it hurts. You take them down, just like they did to you. Just like they did to you. Just like when they offended you when you were weak. And you wait until they're weak and you do it to them. And you gotta be patient. Because it may be a long time before you scope them out. But I want to tell you something. That's a luxury to be able to do that. And if you don't have time to mess with them, don't mess with them until you do have time. But that's the only way that you'll make people respect you. Is to, and I think it's smart to not hurt people too bad. It's just smart to show them just enough strength, power, to make them wish that they had not disrespected you. Because ultimately what's going to hurt them the most is for them to know what they missed out on with you by offending you. So you've got to be a very important person, and it's hard to do. But there's ways of making people wish that they had not crossed you. And you have to constantly be learning the game in order to make people respect you. But instead of reacting swiftly to what people do, and I'm just saying this is just one approach, but you take everything into detailed consideration. Everything that people do. And then when you're strong and they're weak, you take them out. And I say take them out, what I mean is teach them a lesson. That's what I mean. Because if people are acting that way towards other people, it's not a good thing, and they need an attitude adjustment. Because they're acting like little kids and they need to grow up and be adults. And you can be the one to give them an attitude adjustment. Because you've had to have attitude adjustments all throughout your life, through pain and suffering and hard lessons. And somebody was the one to give you a hard lesson. And now it's your responsibility to give somebody else a hard lesson. And some people may be pretty old. They may have been around a long time, but they've never had that hard lesson. I had a lot of hard lessons from the time I was very young. And I've been through some stuff that I wouldn't wish on anybody. But I made it out. And it humbled me in so many ways, because it allowed me to see so much from a young age that many people are sheltered from their whole life. People who are embedded deep within the establishment from a young age never truly understand the harshness of this world. And so by giving people an attitude adjustment, you're actually doing them a service. And so that's why I'm saying don't do it until you have the means to sustain yourself while you give them that attitude adjustment. You've got to be strong enough in yourself that it's not going to hurt you, but it will affect them. And I think that's how we all become better people, is through those hard lessons that we have to learn. But they are hard. And you have to, if you want people to respect you, you have to make them respect you. And you also want people to love you. You do. But it's ultimately more important that they respect you. Respect, fear you, and don't mess with you. And if you want to get out of your state of people trying to mess with you, then you have to establish yourself in their mind as somebody that they better not mess with. And I hate to say it, it's hard to do that to people, especially if you don't want to hurt nobody. Especially if you've been through a lot of stuff and you don't wish it on anybody. You don't want to hurt anybody. You know, I think that's one of the things that I've learned in life, is that I didn't want to hurt anybody. But the more you see in life, the more you realize that you got to be tough with people. The more you deal with people. I used to think, you know, every time in life that I've wanted to do something right, it seems like when you have a reputation for being a bad boy, then you're out here screwing people over and you think they're just sitting ducks. And everybody's so nice. And then when you get a reputation for being a good and a nice guy, people all of a sudden get mean-spirited towards you and start taking you for granted and pushing you around. They take your kindness for weakness. But you decided you wanted to make a change and not be that bad person anymore, not be that hateful, shrewd, mean person. I want to take the higher road and be a kind and a gracious person. And the moment you do that, people walk on top of you. So I'm always reevaluating things, and I think it's better to be known as a bad boy. And then when you do nice things for people, it catches them off guard. And they say, well, he might actually be a good guy. Instead of saying, he's such a good guy, I just expect him to be nice. And I hate that it's that way, but it is. If people expect you to be a nice guy, they just walk all over you. And it's one of the saddest things in the world. So you got to learn how to play chess.